Hey everyone, welcome back. I know it's been a while. Just been super busy with work, trying to survive this Georgia heat, getting sick. My dog had a minor surgical procedure, and I've been keeping up with my garden. If you look kind of in this area, you might be able to kind of see the top of my basil plant, which I replanted this morning and harvested my first round of leaves from. Some super exciting news there. My garden seems to be doing pretty well. I've had some die along the way, but for a first time garden, not too shabby. So, with today's episode, it is going to be tarot. I wanted to talk about the 10 of Candles card in reverse, which is going to be like your 10 of Wands. And so when I pulled this card in reverse, it was on a personal reading for myself. I didn't necessarily set any intentions. I kind of shuffled the deck till I thought it felt right, laid my cards out flat, and kind of pulled cards forward that talked to me. And I didn't want to get super overwhelmed, so I only pulled 3. Normally in a 3 card spread, people will be like, oh, it's your past, future, present, or, it can represent like a different aspect in your life if you're asking a question like the step 1, step 2, step 3 type of thing. Anywho, I didn't really go in with a full intentions of that. So it was pretty interesting. But I did get this card pulled in reverse. And so for all intents and purposes, and I might have said this in a past video before, but that is okay. Candle cards are going to be your wand cards in more traditional type tarot. The deck I use is the Nightmare Before Christmas deck in Guidebook. So my cards are candles, but those are my cards are candles, but they're wand cards in like a more traditional type tarot. And so these types of cards are typically like your fire cards, speaking like elemental wise. And so along with, that element of fire that kind of goes along with, like your inspiration, creativity, passions, willpowers, things like that. It's kind of what these kind of cards mean. So I thought that was pretty funny, just kind of, again, the way that it pulled. And so with this card in reversed, so it's upright, the candle holder is correct, but we pulled it with the flames towards the bottom. Normally people will say that like cards in reverse can be like a bad omen or means that something bad's happening, like those types of things. But you can't always look at the quote unquote face value of card. And so with this particular card, things that like keywords to look out for could be, taking on the sole responsibility of something, something that's a burden on you, burnout, collapse, those types of things. And so not necessarily bad, but can kind of have some negative effects, kind of pending on what aspect of your life you're looking at. So for me, this card resonated with burnout, but that's a story for a whole nother time. So if you're looking at the guidebook that comes with the deck in reversed, it reads that you're feeling weighed down by a heavy burden. You perceive it as something you have to deal with alone, but people are standing by, waiting to support you. Let them. You'll feel so much better. And so when I read that part in the little guidebook, it kind of made me think that, okay, hey, other people are going through this as well. You just need to open up, talk about it, stop using that mentality of push it down, get over it. It's kind of been beaten into our heads since we were young. And again, that's kind of a story for a whole nother time as well. Nothing bad or anything, but just, childhood. It's just a thing. So for me, and like I said, that card made me think of the burnout that I've been feeling. And again, not necessarily anything bad, just a normal part of life, kind of that normal flow of things, at some point in time, whether it's in your personal life, your career, your relationship, you kind of get to that point where you're like, you're taking that big sigh before you're kind of taking those next steps to kind of figure out what that sigh is and what you need to do to kind of help correct or fix it or what have you, pending your situations. And so this card could mean, that you are facing a problem that you don't know how to handle. So you may need to reach out for help. You may need to seek a professional. You may need to trust on or lean on a trusted friend, something like that to kind of get those feedbacks and that help that, what would you call it? Feedback or like advice from somebody. Know where you stand. So like, for instance, if you're feeling burnt out in your profession, know what your skill set is, know what you're good at, know what you're not good at, know where you want to be at. Unfortunately, with money, financially, the world runs on money. So you need to kind of make sure you're working in a setting where you can make the money you're looking for, whether that's $5, $10, 35, what have you. You want to make sure you're kind of in a place where you can see potential growth, somewhere where you're going to be stable and not just working a 9 to 5 type of thing. And you want to make sure you can take those things and prioritize those tasks, or even if you are feeling burnt out and you're ready for a profession change or something like that, even before you get to that full point, make sure you're taking the steps necessary to leave one to go into the other, all those, technicalities type of things. Something you can do is take a look at things that may make you feel blocked, or things that you feel like you don't want in your life. So if for example, off the wall, if you know that you don't want a blue car, then don't get a blue car. So same thing, like if you know that you don't want X situation or X person or what have you in your life, then do the steps needed to make sure that they're not, or find a way to step away from that situation, type of thing. And again, it's different for everybody, and just kind of breathe as you go along. When you're pulling different cards and different things like that. I feel like this was a very quick, easy review of it in reversed. And so, like I said at the beginning of this video, people see these cards in reverse and panic and think, oh crap, something bad in life is going to happen. This card means doom, end of the world, apocalyptic type stuff. No, cards in reverse don't always necessarily mean that. So yes, this card in reverse does come with some heavy thinking, heavy self-working, or what have you. And for those of you who don't know, I relate my tarot a lot to like astrology and to shadow working. So my perspective on the cards may be a little bit different than what some other people use. And again, I am still learning the cards. So what I'm saying now, I could pull this card again next hand 3 weeks from now, 5 months from now, look back at this video and be like, okay, well, no, now it means this. So kind of keep that in mind as well. The cards always are saying something different and can change. I'm kind of just using generic information with the basicest tools. I do look into other sources and stuff as well and deepen my knowledge on the cards and stuff, but this is just kind of your basic, so keep that in mind as well. Hopefully maybe one day I'll get better and we can do better readings and things. But for me, this card in reversed was just basically like a confirmation of what I've been feeling. So like I said, I've been feeling some burnout. and I've expressed those concerns. I've talked to them with my husband. I've talked to them to myself, basically, when you're working out problems in your head. So I knew this was a issue or thing going on. So this just confirmed my suspicions that, hey, this is what's going on. Let's kind of look into some tools for yourself. So for me, it was a confirmation, not a shock that, oh, okay, this is happening. But for some, it may be, depending on where you're at, if you're in denial, those types of things. But I think that is it for this video with this card. Like I said, there is 2 other cards, and I will make videos with those as well, just so that we can kind of see what I'm working with when I'm doing like my real life tarot spreads and things. And I'll make this kind of like a part. I guess this would be part 1 of 3. And then in future videos, I plan on going into like the different types of cards a little bit better. I feel like I've been pretty decent at telling you guys like what the card is, what I pulled. It means this. But not necessarily going into what the different card suits mean, like what elements they're with, and like that aspect of stuff. So I want to try to incorporate some of that information. So yeah, let me know what you think. Stay tuned on like Instagram. I like to post things on there randomly. So if I'm never not on YouTube posting videos, you can most likely find me posting either reels or photos, just random ass things on my Instagram if you're interested. And that's at snightmare22. And then I'm trying to get the Discord running as well, so that way we kind of have that free space, free community to kind of just talk, hang out, and not have to feel judged. Some of my old gaming buddies are in there as well, so there's separate sections. And that's the Pumpkin Patch on Discord. So I hope to see you guys there.